Well, I'm back. I'm back where the yellow peril fell apart. I'm back at the base of Weatherlam and the steel blade. The edge. Or was it the steel edge, not the blade? So as you can see, we do have a little bit of dusting and snow. There is high winds forecast. Despite there being high winds forecast, I did forget to turn my mic on, so you can't hear a bleeding word I'm saying really because of the strong winds. But what I'm trying to do here is just show you my backpack, showing you the area I'm putting my tent up.
It will weigh a ton when you're carrying lots of cider.
And then I talk about cider.
I have no water with me, but I have my purification system, my Sawyer mini squeeze, and I have plenty of water. So, I'm red-faced. Well, I would be. Let's get this bleeding tent up. What tent have I brought? I've brought my WICKIUP3. It is a 3-season tent, not a 4-season tent, but it will stand a lot more than that bleeding thing I put up the other week. So let's get going. I'm going to put this on a tripod. I have got my mic with me, but I'm not going to use it yet. I'm going to use that for a specific task later. Here we are, base of Weatherlam, for another video with me, MAF2 UK, and welcome. And I got a couple of shout outs to do as well.
This is quite a long drawn out part of the video, unfortunately, but it is quite important because you will actually get to see how windy it really is. You can't quite see it right now, but as I start messing with the tent, you'll see I lose control of it very, very quickly. The tent starts wrapping and rolling in front of me, and the guy lines come undone where I've rolled them, and they start tangling, and I'm getting quite frustrated very quickly, and I need to grip this as soon as I can to enable me to nail it to the floor, because the whole principle with this tent is to peg it out first flat on the ground to enable you then to get the pole in the middle. But yeah, I am struggling right now. I had to move the camera back further into this old derelict building because the wind kept blowing my camera over, and it received its first damage. Because this is a replacement camera because the last one kept falling over. Now you can see there me trying to get the stakes in, and the way that this tent goes up is that you stake it out all the way round, and then you put the pole in the middle, and it just takes a bit of time. So I'll speed this bit up and we'll get moving forward. But you can see the wind, good 20-30 mile an hour wind there blowing this tent about, and it's not an easy thing to do. I'll just keep this going a little bit just until you see me peg it out, and then I'll move forward. Okay, we're nearly there. It's time to put the pole in. Let's get the pole in its place. So just like any standard pole, you clip it together. There is an adjuster on the inside, and here we go. Crucial bit now, because you are now totally dependent on the stakes that you put out and around. You haven't got any guy ropes out yet, so this is quite a crucial moment, because you want everything to stay in place whilst you guy everything out. But all of a sudden, where it was flat, now you have a terrific tent. I've got to admit, I am very, very impressed with this tent, and you will see why. This is a 3-season tent. It's not designed to be in those conditions that it is, but it copes with them very, very well indeed. Let's move forward, and let's get this tent guyed out. Now, even though I've speeded up this video just to save you a bit of pain and anguish of watching me peg this out, because it was actually quite difficult at the time, it does take some practice, and it's a lot of work. Okay, there's at least 22 pegging points and guys to go out, and that's why it takes a bit of time. But that's why this thing stays up. It is like a limpet once it's up. It's very rarely, well, it's never ever fallen down, and I've never ever had it collapse on me. This is a limpet when it's up. And the shape of the TP style, it just means that it really sheds the wind really well. The lower section do blow in a bit and blow in on you, but the higher section, the wind just goes around it, and it's not a problem. Still, we're now nearly complete. The last guy's going up now. Now I'm going to grab my gear, and now I'm going to move in. But first, I got to get my camera back.
Quick 360.
No, you're not going to get a 360. The wind was too noisy. It was too much going on. You'll just see me do a couple of adjustments just to tighten it up slightly. You watch now. There you go. Just pulling on the tabs to tighten it up. But as soon as I open the door, I lose control of the tent and the peg pulls out. But now I'm inside the tent. Now it's time to do the inner.
Oh, jeepers. That took some doing. The wind kept pulling the pegs out. And then I set the inner up in the wrong orientation, and I had to redo it all again. Strong winds, very strong, about the same as last time. So let's see how this 3-season tent performs. I'm going to be honest already, I think it's already outperformed the other one, but I don't want to count my chickens yet. There's a long night ahead of us, and it's not raining right now. So before I start gobbing off and saying this is the best thing since sliced bread, I'm going to give it a little bit longer. In the meantime, I think I've deserved a beer. This is an Aldi beer. It is triple hopped golden ale called the Foundry. It's sort of appropriate. So, oh, it smells good. Do you know what it smells like when oh, it smells like Christmas. It smells like shandy actually. The Hop Foundry. Do you know what? That is a terrific little beer, that. That is a terrific little beer. Now that other tent would have been on its ass in that. This one's managed to hold that one back. Whether the tabs will hold, whether everything will hold, who knows, let's see. The wind is forecast to stay as strong as this until this evening, then it's going to drop down and then it's going to pour down on us. So I definitely will be going home tomorrow in the rain, but it's literally an hour's walk, so it's not the end of the world. Right, I'm going to finish this beer. I'm going to get my bed set up, my gear set up, my admin squared away, get my kitchen laid out because I don't know what time it is. It is 3:48. There's going to be no problem keeping my beer cool this weekend, is there? Right, although I'm sat on a ground sheet, I can feel the cold coming through on my rear. Let's get my admin squared away and I'll join you later. I have to say, without fear of contradiction, that Sea to Summit Comfort Deluxe is absolutely awesome. It is totally warm, it's 70mm thick, it keeps you well off the bottom. It is a bit heavy, but it's worth the extra just for the sheer comfort alone, and it's not one of them noisy crisp packet ones as well. Well, it's amazing what a woolly hat, an extra layer will do for you to keep you nice and warm. Don't forget your gloves as well. My gloves that I wore up in the hail and snow and rain they're wet at the moment, so I'll get those back on in a minute just to try and see if I can dry them out a bit. But I do have 2 pairs of gloves, one for in here and sleeping in, and one for when I'm out and about doing my bits and bobs. So always try and keep the 2 separate.
I'll go through a bit more about that later, because on the last video that I did, I mentioned about dry kit, and you know, about making sure that you always have a set of dry kit. Now, it isn't a big bag of dry kit, it's only a small bag. Hang on, here we go. That's it, a little tiny bag of dry kit. In there I've got some socks, I've got a clean t-shirt, and I've got some lightweight, sort of like tracky bottoms, perfect for sleeping in. And I've got a pair of lightweight gloves as well, the ones I got from Aldi the other day. No, those as well, perfect for sleeping in. Keep it separate, that only goes on when I go to bed. I never ever use the shirt and the socks and the lightweight pants unless they're in my pit. The gloves, I can use them. I could put them on now, because gloves, you don't necessarily need to wear gloves when you're sleeping. It's always handy, and if I know I'm not going to get anything wet, then I will use them. But if I have an inkling that I may get things a bit moist, then I won't put them on for sure. Anyway, admin continues, my bed is up. My so-called four-season sleeping bag is good to go. It's a budget one from Mountain Warehouse. I am going to review that after this weekend, but I will use the footage that I have of it later in another video, in a review. So that's not going to happen anytime immediately. I'm going to use it a bit more yet. Some good gusts coming up. Totally different tent from last week or the other week. Totally different. I will actually use. I'll try and get out and use my wind gauge to see what we have actually got out there. But as you can see, it's not gentle. It's not a gentle breeze. We'll keep that out. Put that in my pocket. I think I will use my mic when I go out, because you're not going to hear anything I say. So let's just use that, get it done with. There, mic'd up to 5. That goes on to the end of my HN Zoom N1. So that plugs into that. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go, let's plug that into that one. So now, what I have is my mic connected to my voice recorder. If I turn that on, so my settings are 48K. Oh, that's clipping out quite a lot, so I'm definitely too close to that. So I'm just going to turn that down, or shall I have auto level? Let's put auto level on. There we are, auto level's on. If I look right down, it really clips out, and I don't want to do that. So the important thing is to do with this mic, is with any mic I guess, is to try and keep your head up straight and talk straight. And then I look down like that, everything goes off the scale, so you have to be very careful. And but the auto level hopefully clips it, stops it from distorting too much. Apart from that, I'm around about -6, which is where I need to be. I think that's about right. Again, I'm learning with this stuff. I don't know. You can have a look. We're focusing as I talk. Look, so you can see the bar. And if I talk with a decent volume, it's going around about -6. But if I go right down here and talk right at the mic, you can see that it really tries to clip out. Clipping out means that goes to the other side of the scale, and it's no good at all. So there we are. Let's see how this goes on now. You can see my settings there. It says 2-level battery, but the thing is I put brand new batteries in, so that's one thing. This thing always shows like it's never full power. I think it got full power for about 5 minutes, and then it just goes, oh no, not now, not anymore. Anyway, my new camera, I dropped it earlier. It's not broken. It's trouble in the wind. These cameras is my second camera. My last one broke, and this one's just got a nasty scar on the top now where I dropped it. But because of the zoom and the lens on it, I do like this camera, but they are vulnerable in the wind, and you got to be so careful. And I'm just hoping that I don't smash this one as well. I'm going to turn this mic off now, because I don't need it right now. Goodbye, see you soon. Now all I would do is put that in my pocket, ready for when I go outside. Now when I go outside I can talk, but there's a lot of distortion on the camera, so I can turn the distortion down on the camera and use the mic for my main sound. So you'll still hear the wind and you'll still hear some of the background, but I will keep that on purpose. Now what I did in my last video, I did a little section where I cut that out, where I cut the background noise out and just used the mic, and all you can hear is the mic. But it's quite boring, it's quite bland, and it's not, I wouldn't say exciting, but the atmosphere is not there without the noise, without the wind. And that's what a lot of trick professional movie makers use. They record the sound on their mics and they get the great sound quality, and then they add the background noise and wind in after. And usually it's not the original one, it's just wind and noise which has been added from a stock noise. So you're being conned all the way. At least I'm telling you. So there we are. I'll put that actually in that bag to protect it. Yeah, put it in that bag. There are some sheep up here. No, I won't put it in that bag at all, because that cable is catching it. Oh no, there you go. There we are. You can't be having the right gear. My arse is as warm as toast on this bedding. I've got my Cider Summit Comfort Deluxe. I have this lovely 4-season sleeping bag, a bit bulky, and I cannot feel the cold on my ass at all now. It's terrific. So that's really confident, give me confidence tonight that I'm going to be nice and warm, which is what you need, isn't it? There. Oh well. We'll have 5 minutes relaxing, and we'll go out and we'll have a look about. We'll have a look at the area that I'm in. We'll talk about some of the things about the area, and I don't know if I'll be able to figure out what they're used for, but let's go and have a nosy anyhow. I was just looking at some of the comments for my fishing video. I'm not a lot of internet here, so I can't reply, I can't answer anything at the moment. Not that I would. One of them was very, very bad comment indeed. Give me a right slagging off, and all my associates and all my friends. Well, all I can say to that is, I don't know why you watch it then. If you're that angry with me and you really don't like my content that much, don't watch it. There's no need for you to comment. You really do. If you want to put a thumbs down, put a thumbs down, but there's no real need for you to say those things that you did. And I'm really sorry that you feel that way, but I guess that's the way the world works. I can't please everybody all the time, and well, there you go. So you can't please all the people all the time. Oh, and by the way, I'm into my second beer already. This one is Alska Winter Spiced Plum and Apple Premium Cider. There you go. And it's okay. It's not bad at all. Very sweet actually. Chris would love this one. You would definitely like this one, Chris. Aldi again. All my alcohol from this for this little session is from Aldi. I nipped in before I came here.
So I have my dirty bag with me. What I've decided to do is actually get some water, and if I do decide to filter it later, I can do, and I don't have to go back out again. So at least I'm going to get some water now, and hopefully, well, maybe I won't, maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't, who knows. And there we go, one bladder of water. So let's have a look at what we've got and where we are. Well, this location, so let's have a look at what we got and where we are. Obviously an old mining hut of sorts. There's an entrance to an old shaft here. Got to be very careful not to get too close. So there's a rift that's dropping all the way down through there. Another water source there. remains of a stone wall, and obviously the building. Now, as I said previously, this, oh, my tent giving it some. This was a bleak area to live and work for sure. Fireplace there, look. Still got the hanging piece of wire in the middle. This was a bleak place to work. If you wanted any materials for your fire, well, you'd have had to carry them up and bring them up with you. The process here, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, well, despite me trying to be a bit of a smart ass with my microphone earlier and showing you all about it, what the biggest thing to remember is you must turn the thing on. Oh, look at my tent taking a massive batter in there. But look how steady it looks. It is like a limpet, that thing. Anyway, let's have a look at the area. I'm going to have to do a voiceover because I've got no choice. I'm currently walking along the edge of the rift. The rift is a natural crag that's formed, and it looks like what they've done is used that and mined from
For humans,
that crag.
this is fenced off for the animals. Now, what I'm walking on is shale, like a large shale bank. So there was definitely materials coming out of these rifts. So this was definitely a mine of sorts. I can't quite see how deep that goes, and to be fair, I'm not going to go anywhere near it. This is not the place to be stuck on your own. And if you look at the build-up of shale there, see that? That's not natural. That's 100% not natural. That's broken up stone, that's broken ore. So I would say this plateau that we're on now, this little level bit that you can see, is part of the mining and processing area where they would break up the rocks, get the ore from the rocks. Now, whether they took it from here and processed it elsewhere, I don't know. But if you look down there, you can see the same detail again. Let's go and take a closer look at this building here. This building.
Now we are going to look at this building down here. Now this looks more industrial as opposed to the other building which had a fireplace in it. Now to get down to it, we've got to walk down this man-made bank with all the broken rocks. I find this stuff absolutely fascinating, just to have a look at how it was worked, how they used to manage it and how they worked it. It's been in the construction industry, I get some sort of idea of the mindset and how it was planned and why they did put things where they put them. But when it comes to mining, I don't know anything about it. But I still have that fascination as to what was going on, how did they work this, what was the plan, and I do have a passion just to try and find out. Now, I haven't got time to commit too much to it, but
so let's have a closer look at that building. Obviously a window, that's not a fireplace. Now this is where I hid from the rain last time. Some ironworks there in front of the door. Now, there's no fire, there's not a chimney that. So this is where I hid last time, in here, from the elements. This is definitely either a machine room, it could be a small fire in there, or it could be some sort of inlet for water. They could have channeled the water, who knows, I don't know, I'm guessing. But it doesn't look like a fire to me. I built a few, so I should know. This looks more like a machine room. It's more like a working room, this. What have we got going on here? Yeah, there's no fire in here. So that's a second room. All this is broken shale, split up rock. Now it's predominantly copper. These are copper mines. And the end room.
I can't compete with the wind noise, it's far too strong. But as we get close to this pit here, you will see there is a stonework formed, and you can see the entrance of the mine, how they've bricked it up and blocked it up. And here we go. You can hear me say just in the edits there that there's something. Here we go. Look at the arch over the top of the entrance to the mine, which has been blocked up. That's been done on purpose, that's not natural. And as you can see, when they finish using the mine, they just threw spoil back in just to close it off. But everything that you can see is come out of that mine, and the materials have been brought out and thrown there. It's because it was hard to move, heavy to move. They did not want to throw it too far or take it too far out of the way, so they just threw it literally out of the shaft window and created these little mini plateaus.
That's what I think.
The wind is definitely strong. I think I'm just saying there that it's 40-50 miles an hour gust coming there. The valley itself has to be one of my favourite valleys. I've only recently found it last year, but I do like it. I think it's somewhere that I will keep going back to, especially the steel edge. I've been up that once, that edge there. I've been up it once, and I will definitely do it again. There's lots of water, there's some good camping available there. It's high enough to be out of the way, and it's not one of the most popular places.
Probably 20 minutes of light left. I'm going to stick this one out, I think. Last look, because tomorrow it'll probably be pouring down. I quite like the odd tree sploshed here and there as well. There. Let's get back in. Let's get my hands warmed up again. Whew. There. Now the last check of the pegs. That's okay, that's okay. That one's alright. That's alright, that's alright. Well, seems okay. Get out of this bloody wind.
Clearly the wind is still strong. I'm hoping it's going to die down. I don't mind if it rains now. I will, in fact, it'll give me an opportunity to test my modification I made to this tent. Some of you may have watched a little 5-minute video where on a stormy night the rain was coming in through these upper vents up here that you can't see right now. In fact, I'll show you. See these upper vents here? See these? Well, the rain came up and was blowing into here, and it was rather annoying to say the least. It gave me an awful night's sleep, but I made this little tiny modification to it which closes the gap a little bit. Now, a guy who watches my channel, I will put his name here somewhere, copied the modification, uses his tent a lot more than me, and went up in Scotland somewhere in the snow and said it worked a treat by minimising the spindrift. Spindrift is light snow which flurries up and can come into your tent. He said it did work. It did cut it out. Not 100%, but it did cut it out. So the little modification does work for snow. That's 100%. We know that's a fact. So thank you so much for letting me know that. Thank you for my feedback, because that's important to me. That's why I did it, and I'm glad that it worked for you. So thank you very much, and enjoy camping, and I hope I've helped you in some way. In the meantime, I will continue with my cider. It's soon time to get my evening meal on, which I might have later actually. I'm not quite hungry yet. I've got my gas burner again, just to be on the safe side. I'm not massively high, under 400 meters. So I don't think I'll have a problem using my gas at this altitude and at this temperature, but the light is starting to go, so I'll have to find my lamp I know where my head torch is, and we can crack on for the rest of the day, can't we? And that apple cider is very refreshing, and I know that Chris is going to love that. There, got my old lamp up. It's not a lamp I bring out very often. I've had it for years, but I used to use it for camping with Alex and I, and it was just a very good little lamp. I'll show you, but it might glare out. I don't know. Where is it? Is that it? There you go. You can't see much, but it seems to be doing the trick. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, it's an old, like I said, it's an old lamp, but works fine. Now, one of the things that I have purchased, again, Aldi. I've never had it before, never tried it before, and don't panic. I'm not going to be drinking this all of it all night. It's just in the bottle it came with. Okay, I don't normally bring a full bottle of whiskey with me for an overnighter, so you just have to. Oh, there goes my lamp. Thought that might happen. I wonder where I can hang that. Don't seem to be very many places. There, that still works. There, so this is the Highland Select blended whiskey. Now, I love my whiskey. I'm not going to shout about that yet because I'm not really holding my breath. I really brought it just to put with some hot coffees because the temperature is going to drop tonight and I just wanted to keep nice and warm. So that was the reason for bringing it, to make it like a hot toddy. I've said it before and I'll say it again to everybody who goes out camping in the winter. Alcohol does not warm you up. Alcohol drops your body temperature. If you drink copious amounts of alcohol whilst you're out on the hills at night, what happens is your body temperature drops when you're asleep and you're more likely to feel the cold. So although you get that numbing warm initial effect and it's good for morale, the actual opposite happens to your entire body. So be mindful of that. There's nothing wrong with having a morale booster. There's nothing wrong with having a wee nippy sweetie in your coffee at all, but the overall alcohol content will lower your body temperature. Please bear that in mind and drink safely and sensibly. And that's coming from me. Oh! Should we have a drop? Should we try it? I can't wait. Go on, let's try it. Now then, I do actually know how to drink whiskey, and there is a way to do it properly to determine whether the whiskey is a good or bad one. Hang on. Now then, a good strong flavoured whiskey will hold its perfume, its smell, when you breathe in through your nose. When you smell it, take a big deep sniff, long prolonged sniff, and if you can smell that same essence all the way through from the beginning of the sniff to the end of the sniff, it means it's got a lot of vapor in there. That's a good sign. That's a good sign for a whiskey. If you sniff and get an initial hit and then nothing, it means it's already failing at the first hurdle. The second thing to do is to place the whiskey in your mouth and slosh it around a little bit and wait for the natural salts from your saliva to mix and blend, and when that happens, that's when you swallow the whiskey. That's how you're supposed to drink it. That gives the flavours time to work in your mouth to react to it with your saliva, and then you swallow the whiskey. That's how you're supposed to do it. Now, I didn't make that up. I went to the Isle of Islay, Isle of Isle, however you pronounce it, and where they make Lefroy whiskey, and we went and did the tours, and I went and had a special tour on whiskey tasting and how to do it, and that's how to do it. So, cheers everyone. Let's give it a taste, shall we? Let's find out what this budget whiskey from Aldi actually tastes like. Well, that was a good start. I am pleasantly surprised at that. You can tell it's a blend, you can tell that it's a lower end whiskey, but when you drink it properly, it's not as harsh, doesn't give you that kickback, and it hasn't made me shudder. So who would have thought? Highland Select. That gets a thumbs up from me. While I'm on the subject of whiskies, one thing that you need to know is that if somebody buys you a whiskey which is 20 years old, don't leave it in the bottle. It only matures whilst it's in the kegs. It does not mature on your shelf. In fact, the opposite happens. Over time, the whiskey will degrade whilst it's in the bottle. So if somebody buys you a really nice, expensive bottle of whiskey, drink the bugger. That's what it's for. It'll be at its peak when it's bought. So the longer you leave it in the bottle, the less, I won't say it'll taste rubbish, but it won't be as good as it is when it came out of that vat and it was bottled. That's when to drink it, okay? It's not like wine. It doesn't mature in the bottle. It matures in the keg. And if you ever needed a great excuse to go and crack open that bottle of whiskey that you've been keeping for a couple of years, you've just got it. Show your missus or your husband this side of the video, and then they got nothing. They can't say anything about it. The rain's just starting to come now, or is that sleet? Don't know. I can't see because it's getting dark out there. I love this. Absolutely love this. I guess this is when I'm at my happiest, when I do stuff like this. I have a great home life. My job is fine now that I'm started working. I actually commute to Liverpool now and I am enjoying it. Yeah, it's work is work, home is home. I love all of it. And I love this too. I love being out and about. I love being out in the elements. And I'm really warm and toasty right now. And I don't feel cold. And I'm really confident this tent's going to stay up the night. And you can't beat having confidence in your gear, which is a totally different format than what we was in last week, wasn't it? So on the last video. I will be doing my tea later, or dinner. I will be having a few more beers later, and we will be having a few more chats. And I will see you later. But I'm currently in my happy zone, and this is, for me, is about as good as it gets. Sometimes it's just nice to be on your own. I like the company of my buddies, but to me this is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I love it. I can't be any happier right now. If the tent blows over and rips out of the ground and smashes me in the face, I won't be happy then. But it's all part of the adventure, and if you don't have an adventure, or at least frighten yourself at least once a month, what's the point? Oh dear, my gas stove is playing up, it's flaring. Anybody know why it's doing that? No, I've never experienced that before. I'm going to burn my bleeding tent down if I'm not careful. That's supposed to be off. Something's not right, is it? Don't know what's going on with that. Anyway. Good way to dry your gloves out as well, I noticed. And there we go. Oops. Bit messy. But well, I must admit, chicken tikka pie, beans and mashed potato. I got quite a lot of it. But it's very nice. These bags in this filter, the blue bag is always going to be the clean water, the orange bag is always going to be the dirty water. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. You never cross them. They should never touch each other. They should never cross each other. You know, you clean water is always your clean water, and that's just how it goes. But the bags are very expensive. You don't need those bags. I just got those bags because it's me, and that's I seen them. I wanted them because I like the look of them. So, but they're 25 quid each, those bags, which is absolute crazy money. 25 quid for a bag? No. But yeah, unfortunately, I bought the dirty bag thinking that was a great idea, and then I wanted, because I've got the dirty bag, I wanted the clean bag, and one begat the other, I'm afraid. So I just fell for egg under the hat. But these are the latest version. This is a 2019 version, which comes with all the whistles and bells on it. It's a very, very good bag. Oh, tent's holding up well at the moment. I'm just hoping that the wind's going to die down and give me a bit of peace of mind. I've done a picture on Facebook now, so everybody knows I'm out and about. Coming on. I'm not putting it under any pressure. I'm just holding it, really, just nice and relaxed, just letting it let gravity do itself. Yeah. Just roll the bag as it gets a little bit more emptier, easier to hold. Yeah. I will try and clear out as much water from the filter as possible. and then I will stick it in a placky bag and keep it with me in my pocket so it doesn't freeze. I don't think it's going to freeze, but I just don't want to be. I want to be on the safe side. Once it's in my pocket, isn't it? I forget all about it then. One bag of clean water. I'm more than happy to drink that now, straight from that bag. I couldn't. So I'll lie here now, listen to the wind, and have a really nice relaxing evening. It's not late, it's just after 10. That'll do me. Nice good sleep for tonight. If I hear anything bumps and bangs in the night, I shall sure to get my camera out and I will catch up with you later.
It's pouring down, it's windy, and it's looking like that modification that I made is working an absolute treat. I don't know how this tent's managed to stay up. It doesn't look like it's bad now, but trust me, I've turned this camera on for a reason. These gusts are incredible. Driving rain that comes with it. But now I've turned the camera on, I ain't getting any.
Well, the tent stayed up, which is absolutely fantastic news. It is loosened up a little bit, so it's a bit flappy, but all my modifications, that little modification I made some time ago has worked amazingly. Compared to what water would be coming in now, that little mod of those little tags has just been fantastic. A little bit of condensation in here, but I'm not surprised about that. The way I bolted this thing to the ground, I would expect to see that really. This tent has done fantastically well for a 3-season tent, and the conditions it's been in last night were amazing. I sort of knew it would take it, but there's always that air of doubt, and I was always a little bit worried. But nope, it's done fantastically well. I'm really pleased with it. The only thing there is left to do now is in this rain is pack up and get out of here. And again, that's why this tent lends itself to being a good little tent, because I can drop everything in the inside to carry out my admin, and then the final thing that drops is the fly sheet, and away I go. It's going to be a wet pack up. I'm going to get a bit moist on the way home, but there you go. And my lens is fogging over. Ooh, quite angelic. There we are. Yeah, so that's it. Pack up, get home. Little adventure over with. Tent test number 2 complete and passed. Well done, WICKIUP3. There's no snow out there. It's been raining constant for 8 hours now. That river's got louder and louder and louder. So getting out of here should be interesting. Anyway, time to pack up. See you in a bit. Oh, and I will note too, due to the weather conditions, it's probably going to be a little bit impossible to do any filming on the way out of here, but we'll try.
Fortunately, my last river crossing isn't too bad. It's only about 6 inches deep. I knew it'd be a little bit worse than it was yesterday, but yeah, it's not too bad really. Should be able to get through this okay. There we go, we'll go here, look. There we are, no wet feet. You think you're standing in that you won't get wet feet, but the water will just rush up your legs. So there we are, that's that bit done. Whew. There we go, nearly there. I'm heading down to some cottages down here, and I know someone who lives in one of those cottages. His name, or his nickname, is Duck. And Duck watches my videos. How do I know that? Because I bumped into him last night when he was messing with his dogs. I was sorting his dogs out and I walked past and he barked at me and he turned around and he went, "I know you." Because Duck is a keen fisherman. I presume his name's Duck because I have to be very careful on these rocks, because he goes out in all weathers. That's why I would say his nickname is Duck is. But yeah, so big shout out to you, mate. Nice to meet you last night, and thank you for watching my vids. And as promised, there's your shout out, bud. Apparently Lake Windermere is flooded. We'll have a look on the way past, shall we? Yeah, I would say Windermere is flooded.